Good morning, and welcome back to Token Maxers Anonymous, the only show that reads the terms of service out loud so that you do not have to. I'm your host, Kip. Today is Friday, August 14th, 2026, and today's program is about work for hire. Every item on the running order is somebody doing, for money, a job that used to require a government, a license, or a bar exam. The market has never been more efficient. The problem is what the market has decided to be efficient about. On today's docket, the White House starts handing out permission slips for private companies to go and attack foreigners, deposit required. A phone maker tells people across 110 countries that a professional is reading their messages. The cheapest laboratory in the world discovers surge pricing, so your agent now costs more to think during office hours. Two firms that read contracts are valued at more than most law firms will ever bill. And a stranger posts a hole in a mapping server at lunchtime, and the internet spends the afternoon trying it. We begin with the return of a very old idea. A presidential memorandum signed this week creates for the first time a formal program letting vetted American companies attack foreign criminal groups, not defend, attack. Surveillance using spyware and disruptive operations aimed at destroying the target's data and systems. There are guardrails, and they are magnificent. You have to be accepted. You sign a contract with the Justice Department or Homeland Security. Every operation needs written sign-off, and you leave at least $1 million in escrow, which you forfeit if you misbehave. So the thing standing between a firm and hacking the wrong person abroad is a deposit, the same instrument that governs a rental van. One researcher noted that people doing this work could be treated overseas as combatants who are not wearing a uniform. He called the policy half-baked, because we do have a word for a private vessel licensed by a government to raid foreigners for profit. We stopped issuing those in the 1800s because it went badly, and it is back with a vetting process and a customer portal. Story 2 is the same industry, seen from the other end. Yesterday, a phone maker sent out a fresh round of threat notifications. People in 110 countries were told that their handset is believed to be the specific target of mercenary spyware. Not a phishing wave, not a broad campaign. Somebody paid a company for you by name. Last August, the same warning went to 100 countries. Since the program started, the running total is more than 150, which is most of them. The recommended remedy is to switch on the hardened mode that disables half your phone and then ring a nonprofit helpline. So, use less phone and telephone a charity. But notice the timing. On Wednesday, a government licensed private firms to buy surveillance software and pointed at foreigners. On Thursday, a phone maker warned foreigners that somebody had done exactly that. Same industry, same product. The only difference is the paperwork. Story 3. The cheapest laboratory in the world has discovered surge pricing. Yesterday, it shipped the finished build of its flagship model and open-sourced its agent software, which is genuinely generous. Then it announced that from Sunday, prices rise by between 50% and more than 1,100% depending on the model, the kind of token, and what time it is. That last one is new. There is now a peak rate and an off-peak rate. Output on the flagship goes from 87 cents a million to nearly $4 a peak, and peak is defined as Chinese office hours. The company says this will allocate resources more reasonably. So the model that broke the market by being too cheap to believe has arrived at the pricing structure of a taxi in the rain. Your agent costs more to think in the morning than it does at night, which means somewhere tonight, a developer is moving a batch job to 3 in the morning, Beijing time to save $4, and spending an entire evening doing it. Story 4. And there is a bidding war on for the machine that raids contracts. A Swedish company founded 3 years ago is reportedly raising at more than $10 billion. In March, it was worth about $5.5. Its annual revenue is somewhere near $100 million, so investors are being asked to pay roughly 100 times revenue. Its American rival is in talks at $15.5 billion, up from 11 in the spring. Both sell the same thing, software that reads the documents so that a junior lawyer does not have to. Now, the traditional way to make money out of legal documents is to charge by the hour and to read slowly. The pitch here is the opposite. Read everything, instantly, for a flat subscription. So, the market has decided that the most valuable object you can build is a machine that destroys the billable hour. And the people paying 100 times revenue for it are the people currently billing the hour. And finally, the shortest disclosure process in the history of the industry. On Wednesday morning, a researcher posted on a social network that an open source mapping server, The kind used by governments, defense contractors, and universities, has an unauthenticated hole in the part that queries the database. On the wrong database, with the wrong permissions, it becomes remote code execution. That is the entire disclosure. One post, no advisory, no tracking number, no patch. Within hours, a threat intelligence firm was watching attackers sweep the internet for vulnerable servers. Hundreds of attempts from a small handful of addresses, so far only knocking to see which doors open. As of this morning, there is still no fix. The guidance is to find your exposed instances and take them off the internet, which is guidance, not a solution. So a stranger typed a sentence before lunch, and by dinner it was a weapon. And the people who maintain that software are somewhere on the same timeline, finding out the way you did. And now, a word from our sponsor. Are foreign criminals doing crimes at you? Introducing Deputy, the first fully managed retaliation subscription for the small and medium business. Simply sign our contract, wire your fully refundable deposit, and Deputy certified operators will attack somebody, somewhere on your behalf. Pending written approval, which is coming. Upgrade to Deputy Plus for surge pricing, because vengeance costs more during business hours. And with Deputy Maximum, you receive a commemorative certificate suitable for framing and for showing to a foreign judge. Warning, Deputy cannot attack the people who actually attacked you, as that is not what the program is for. Deputy operators may be classified overseas as combatants who are not wearing a uniform. Your deposit is forfeit if you retaliate enthusiastically. Side effects may include a notification from your phone informing you that you are being targeted by a company exactly like ours. That does it for today's Token Maxers Anonymous. I've been Kip, your guide through the Silicon Jungle. Today's lesson is that everything is becoming a service, including the things that used to be a duty. Attacking foreigners is a service now, watching them is a service, thinking is a service, metered by the hour of the day, judgment is a service, priced at 100 times revenue, and finding the holes in critical infrastructure is, apparently, a hobby. 3 things to take away. If a vendor offers you offensive capability, ask who is carrying the liability. If your bill is metered, find out when your peak hours are before your agent does. And patch what you can see, because on the 5th story, nobody is coming. We're back tomorrow with whatever gets disclosed overnight. Take care of yourselves, and if a stranger tells you about a hole in your server, he is not the problem. He is just the fastest.